Hi, Marla.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So, I just wanted to give, first of all, thank you so much for doing this today.
You're welcome.
And I wanted to just give my fourth graders just a little bit of a background here of what we're going to be doing today. I kind of told them that I have a surprise for them. So, just going to give them a little bit of a background. So, Marla, I teach at a Christian school and I teach fourth grade. So I just wanted to start off by letting my fourth graders know what a blessing this is for us, because Marla is actually a new friend that I've made. And that has been so wonderful. It's always great to meet new friends, but also because I learned that Marla is a sign language interpreter, correct, Marla?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And she's a sign language interpreter. And so when she found out that I was a teacher, because she works in schools, she offered to teach us a little bit of sign language. And so I thought that maybe today we could go over a few words that we've been talking about in Mr. Popper's Penguins book, and that we'd maybe be able to learn some sign language. So I just want to praise God for the double blessing of having a new friend that I got to meet, and also being able to bless my fourth graders with our new friendship with some sign language. So that's pretty cool. Okay.
I agree. That is really cool.
Marla, do you want to just give a little background to my fourth graders about what you do?
Sure.
Okay.
I like your teacher instructed. Do they call you Jen, or what do they call you?
They call me Mrs. Redmon. Yeah. Okay. What do they call you at school?
Well, it depends. In college, they call me Marla.
Okay.
But when I was in elementary school and middle school, it was Mrs. Ball.
Okay.
So
okay.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand. So anyhow, I have worked as an educational interpreter for probably 16 years, maybe even longer, probably more like 20 years. I've worked as an educational interpreter.
Okay.
And I've also worked in the community doing sign language for doctor's appointments, other things that someone who has hearing loss might need an interpreter for. So I do those kinds of things in the community as well. And my favorite place to do sign language is church. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to meet as a church. So that's been a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Well, one really great thing for us is that we don't have any sign language interpreters in our building. So I thought this would be a really great way to kind of give some exposure to our fourth graders of what this looks like. So how about if we go ahead and get started? And I thought maybe I could give you a word that we've been doing in the book, and you could maybe talk to us about the sign, and we could just practice signing it.
Sure.
Sound good? Okay. So how about the word penguin?
Penguin. That is a great word, and most kids really like to learn the signs for animals. So penguin, I'm going to stand up to show you this because it'll be a little bit easier. It's more like.
Should we stand up? Should we stand up to practice it?
Just like a penguin would walk is the sign for penguin.
Okay. So fourth graders, stand up, and we're going to walk like a penguin.
So it's pretty much just like that.
So that's kind of interesting that signing isn't just with your hands. You can use your whole body.
Oh my goodness. There are 5 parameters to sign language, and one of the biggest parts of it is your facial expression, because we all know what it's like when our mom says our first name, middle name, and last name, and we can tell by the tone of her voice how serious she is and how quickly I better run to where she's at to talk to her about what is going on. So we know what that's like. But if you're deaf, you can't hear that. You can't hear voice intonations. So you don't know what's going on.
Right.
If you can't hear that voice.
Right.
Kind of like with a dog, you can say to the dog, "You're such a pretty dog," or you can say, "You're such a duckly dog." But the dog responds to the tone of the voice, not the words.
Yeah.
So because deaf people can't hear the tone of the voice, they have to see it in our facial expressions. Whether we're happy, we're sad, we're confused. So your face really has to be emoji-ish.
Wow. Emoji-ish. That is something we know. Okay. I love that. All right. So what about this word? Stubborn.
Stubborn. You put your hand like this and then
Okay.
you put it on your head.
Okay.
Stubborn.
Stubborn.
And
Okay,
a
so
lot of times I like to make my face look that way too. Stubborn.
stubborn, like that.
Stubborn.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
stubborn.
4th grade, we're trying stubborn. Stubborn.
And coincidentally, that is also a sign for an animal, and that animal is donkey. So stubborn and
Oh,
donkey are the same. So that's why you'd want to be stubborn or
stubborn.
donkey. See how
Okay.
donkey is more like you don't need to have a facial expression to match that
Okay.
because it's representing an animal, not an emotion.
Got it.
So that's why the facial expression was stubborn. You want to have more of that look on your
A
face.
little bit of a scowl there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that. Stubborn.
Stubborn.
All right. How about the word, we've been learning about our penguins, and the word plunge came up. So what about the word plunge?
Plunge. There is not an exact sign for the word plunge because there's not a sign for every word that we have in the spoken English language. So many times there can be 15 words that mean one sign. So we have to like kind of show that what is the meaning? What does plunge mean? Right. So plunge means like to jump in the water. So we'd want to jump into the water to take a plunge.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be like a jump. I
like that.
So to make it like a plunge, because that's more like what it is. So you want to be using, like we talked about, facial expressions that go with stubborn. And then this is also a part of sign language, is how our hand motions work. Whether it's like slow or fast also indicates a verb.
Okay.
And so plunge is a verb. It's a type of jumping, but it's more like a plunge, like a jump in. Do you know what I mean?
kind of just do it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're really plunging in.
Like you're plunging in, like you're jump. Yep.
So
So this is jump up and down. This is like jump up and down.
Okay.
So then if you're jumping into something,
then you plunge.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. All right. How about when thinking of penguins and how sometimes it can look like they're wearing a tuxedo, we came up with the word waistcoat. What would waistcoat look like to be signed?
Right. And again, with sign language, we don't have a sign for every word. So waistcoat would be more like coat.
Like a coat.
Coat.
Okay.
Like a coat. And it looks like you're putting on a coat.
Yeah. Coat.
So that one's kind of easy, coat.
Yeah.
So you have your hands like this.
Okay.
Yep, with your thumbs out to the side. This is called the letter A.
Okay.
And so you use the letter A hand, and so you do coat.
Okay. I see that. Okay.
And if you really wanted to emphasize that it was like a tuxedo, it would be T-U-X. If that was really your emphasis, that you wanted people to know that it looks like a tuxedo, you would want it to finger spell the whole word tuxedo or just T-U-X.
And do you finger spell the words sometimes when you're interpreting?
I finger spell a lot. I finger spell a lot because, like I said, there's not a sign for every word. And so if you, the teacher, your focus is really on that word plunge, and they need to be able to recognize that word plunge on a test, then I would want to say plunge and finger spell it and then do the sign. Okay.
And maybe for our 4th graders who don't know, when we say finger spell, we mean like spell the letters of the word with the alphabet with our hands. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's what
great.
Is.
So we just got done reading in the story that Mr. Popper has 2 penguins in his ice box. So how would we sign ice box? And I've talked to the kids about the fact that, ice box isn't really a word that we use very often. So what would you say for ice box?
I would say refrigerator.
Okay.
And refrigerator is a word that there are actually a lot of signs, different signs, kind of like birthday, and just how we have words that are only found in different areas, like the word yuns. Yuns you can hear in the Pittsburgh area, but it's not commonly heard maybe in California or in other parts of the country. So refrigerator tends to be a sign that can vary, and you can see different versions of it. I call them adjectives because just like Yeah, just like we have adjectives for like the word pretty, beautiful, lovely, gorgeous. Those are pretty much words that mean all the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they're adjectives. So to me, there are adjectives in sign language as well. The
Okay.
one that I see the most for refrigerator is either cold, like this for refrigerator,
Okay.
or with the letter R's. And then
So
you
you
shake it.
so you
These are
cross your
the,
fingers for the letter
mhm.
R.
Yep, this
Okay.
is the letter R, almost
Okay.
like you're hopeful for something. And then you shake it just like this is cold,
Cold.
refrigerator. Mhm.
So the R kind of is helpful that that's what you're talking about. I like that.
Right.
So fourth grade, that's refrigerator. And I'm glad you mentioned adjectives because we actually just started learning about those yesterday. So
Perfect.
fourth graders will know that these are describing words here. Okay, last one is blizzard.
Blizzard.
Yes.
Um, Again, there's not an exact sign for the
Mhm.
word blizzard, but this is snow.
Snow.
Yep, your fingers wiggle just like little
Wiggle like
snowflakes. And
snowflakes.
as I look out my window, I see snowflakes happening today. Who'd have thought in May
Oh
11th?
my gosh.
No. Yes. So this is snow. So if it's a blizzard, blizzards more indicate that it's a heavy, hard snow.
Mhm.
And we can indicate that with our facial expressions and our body language and how our hands move. So it'd be more of a heavy snow like
Blizzard.
that.
Blizzard.
Yeah. Blizzard.
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 I
Yeah.
like
So
that.
my face looks a little more intense. My hands moving faster.
Hmm.
And
I
it's more
like
like,
that.
instead of it being like a light, soft, fluffy snow, it's like a
Blizzard.
blizzard. Yep.
Okay, so let me just review them quickly with my fourth graders and you can tell me how I did. Okay? All
Okay.
right. So for penguin, we would stand up with our hands out to our sides and kind of waddle
Yep.
like a penguin.
Yep.
For stubborn, we're kind of going to flap our hand down, but we're going to have a scowl on our face, like stubborn.
Perfect.
Right?
Yep.
For plunge, it's jump, but we're going to make sure we exaggerate it with our hands because
Yeah.
we're plunging
Plunge.
in. Okay. And for waistcoat, we're going to do the letter A, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to pull our coat on. And for icebox, we're going to cross our fingers for the word refrigerator, and we're just going to kind of act like we're cold. And then for blizzard, we're going to kind of scowl a little bit again and make the snow fall pretty fast.
Right. And you
I
can
love
even
it.
like make your mouth like, because it's windy, it's cold.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marla. This was such a treat for us, and I hope that my fourth graders just love learning a little bit of sign language with you today. So thank you.
Me too. You are welcome.
Okay, welcome.
Yep. Thank you and you're welcome are actually the same sign. So thank you and you're welcome.
Thank you, and you're welcome. All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye, Marla.
Bye-bye.